Welcome to Socation, a series where I hit the road with my sewing machine to get inspired by working and staying in unique places, shop for fabric at the local thrifts, and create a one-of-a-kind piece. If this sounds cool, then stay tuned, because today we're going to Snoqualmie Valley in Washington to stay at TreeHouse Point, a gorgeous property only 30 minutes outside of Seattle with so much to do in the surrounding area. We're going to visit the local knitting shop as well as the local thrift and take what we find back to our treehouse to knit and craft and relax for the weekend. And this is an extra special episode because I brought my good friend and pattern collaborator Alyssa Woods to knit and sew with me and have just a really good time. We left the house at 8 a.m. because we had a 4-hour drive ahead of us, and we wanted to stop in Olympia at Value Village, one of my favorite thrift stores ever. They always have something here and the prices are really great. Typically, I love to look for blankets or quilts or fabric of some sort, and honestly, it was kind of striking out. Nothing really reminded me of the treehouse we were going to go stay in. So I kind of focused my efforts on clothing, and we both decided we were going to upcycle something instead. I found some really cool corduroy, canvas, flannels, and I just got a bunch of things that I thought would look good together, and Alyssa ended up getting a sweater for some mittens. We shopped for about an hour and then started to get hungry, so we decided to go eat in Olympia at a restaurant called Row. We were the first ones there at 11 a.m. and ended up getting some mimosas and a cider with our breakfast/lunch and had some pretty decent food. I would definitely recommend if you're in Olympia. Then it was time to head to Issaquah, which was about an hour and 15 minutes away. We wanted to stop at the Nifty Knitter, a knitting shop nearby the treehouse that just had an amazing selection of wool and accessories and books. They were super helpful in there, and I definitely recommend if you're in Issaquah. Such a great selection. There's another Value Village in Issaquah too, and this is where we found some more goodies. I got a couple more things of corduroy and we shopped for ourselves. Only 15 minutes away is TreeHouse Point. We checked in at 4 o'clock and immediately just started exploring the property. There are 7 tree houses on the property, as well as 3 additional cabins and a lodge that's like a community space. There's a gorgeous pond with rainbow trout that you can actually feed. It was very fun. All the tree houses were designed by the Nelson family. If you've ever heard of Nelson Tree House, they make incredible tree houses all over the world. We ended up staying in the Trillium tree house. The Trillium treehouse was built 16 feet up in a giant cedar tree, and it has a beautiful wraparound staircase that you ascend to enter. Upon entering, you just see the coziest sight ever. And they left us some little chocolates. There are 2 leather armchairs, which we sat and knitted in all night long. There are 80 window panes on this 2-story cabin. So the ceiling goes all the way up in the living room, letting in tons of natural light. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then above is a ladder that leads to a sleeping loft, which has a queen-size bed that is very comfortable, as well as a toilet and a sink. The showers and additional bathrooms are located a very short walk away in the bathhouse. It has 2 private bathrooms that are absolutely gorgeous with heated floors, a really big shower that's fully stocked with everything that you need. There's also an outdoor shower, which is open seasonally, and it was really dreamy. Back inside, this is the view from the loft looking down. Hi, Alyssa! Don't worry, you'll see a lot more of this cabin as we go through this episode, but since it was getting dark, we really wanted to go explore the property before the sun set. And this is a path that leads not only to all the other cabins and the bathhouse, but it also leads down to the river. There's Trillium looking back at it. It's absolutely stunning. There, like I said, there are 7 different tree houses on this property, all built by the Nelson family. And each cabin felt super private, even though you could see them while you were walking on the path. When you were inside, you felt like you had a lot of privacy. They're kind of just scattered throughout. I definitely want to come back and try a few other cabins sometime in the future. But we wanted to head down to the river and take a peek. We passed by the Burl treehouse on the way. That treehouse, as well as Temple of the Blue Moon, both have bridges that lead to the front door, which is so cool. We also passed by the Hideaway cabin, which in addition to the tree houses, there are 3 other cabins that you can rent. There's this one, the Love Bomb, and the Cedar Suite. After a short walk, we made it to the river, which was so beautiful, and I love that we could see this from our cabin. It got dark quick because it's November in the Pacific Northwest, so we decided to unpack and head into the lodge. The lodge is like a community space where you can come in, you get breakfast here in the morning, coffee, you can get drinks. They have s'more kits. Yes, you heard that right. They have these free little s'more kits that you can use in the fireplace or outdoor fire. Because it was raining, we used the indoor fireplace and made some cute little s'mores. This was so fun, and we ended up ending the night with some wine and some cheese and crackers and whipping out our knitting so that we could knit by the fire. It was starting to get later, and we were the last ones in the lodge, so we decided to take it back to the Trillium treehouse and complete the night by, yes, knitting some more. Since we're going to be knitting a lot, we thought it'd be really fun to show you guys where we started off with our sweaters. We're both making the step-by-step sweater, and this is our beginning point. We knitted till about 10 while listening to a romantic mystery audiobook and really just had the loveliest first day that I could have imagined. So after this, we ended up going to bed, and that's the end of day one. We woke up in the morning around 7:30 to the most beautiful lighting. It had rained all night. We made some coffee. And then we sat down and began to knit some more while we waited for our breakfast to get delivered. There is an included breakfast which you can go and get in the lodge, but for a little extra, you can also get breakfast delivered in bed. And this was so worth it. It was so fun. And the food was absolutely delicious. After eating, it was time to unpack all the sewing stuff and bring it up. We set up the 3 machines on the breakfast bar and figured out how we were going to navigate the space together. Okay, it's 10:30. And I want to show you guys what we got at the thrift store yesterday. So they didn't have a lot of good fabric or blankets, but they had a ton of great clothing. So we're gonna do some type of like upcycled jacket, inspired by this beautiful treehouse we're in. I got some nice Dockers khakis, some flannels, St. John's. I got this Zara jacket. It's like green denim, which is actually very, very cute on. And then some corduroy from this like pillowcase. Alyssa got this semi-felted wool sweater to make some mittens. She is currently ripping apart the mitten pattern because I forgot to bring the pattern pieces. So she is ripping apart our sample and is gonna use that for the pattern. So what we were thinking is like trying to do maybe like a tree kind of growing out of this pocket, and then maybe some type of ladder, like either stitched in or fabric or something on the pocket to be like a little ladder with like a cool little like tree. And then some details on the back yoke, whether it's like leaves or abstract leaves, something like that to be like kind of woodsy. And then I have my Onyx 30 with me, which has like a ton of decorative stitching. So I'm thinking of maybe doing some like leaf decorative stitching in green, like on the collar or around the cuffs. I don't know. We're gonna play with it and see, but I think it's gonna be really cute. So it's 10:30. Let's see what we can do.
Okay, so I have my sweater fabric and my pattern pieces here. And the first thing I'm gonna do is just to cut the side seams open on the sweater so that I have flat fabric pieces to work with.
I kind of started taking this treehouse thing literally and decided to start crafting the actual Trillium treehouse out of fabric. And it's going well, but it kind of looks like a 12-year-old did it. So we're doing a test piece here to see how I like it. It does kind of look like Trillium, which is fun. I use corduroy and some flannels for the windows, but I'm not sure how I feel about putting it on the jacket. Let's see what Alyssa's doing.
So I have my mitten pattern pieces here. And I think that instead of using a folded piece of fabric like we designed the pattern to use, what I want to use is just the finished cuff off the sleeve of this sweater itself. So I'm just going to cut it half as tall as the pattern is made for and leave it in the round, which means I'll just have to attach it in a slightly different order than normal, but I think it's going to be really cute to use this trim that the sweater had on it.
And while I pondered the treehouse, I did some decorative stitching, which turned out really cute. These leaves I did around the cuffs and the hem of the jacket and the collar. Meanwhile, Alyssa's using the second machine to start sewing up her sweater mittens. Okay, so I originally made this treehouse, which is the one we're staying in, Trillium, to put on the jacket, and I kind of realized that I probably wouldn't wear it. So I'm switching gears a little bit, and luckily Alyssa brought this knitting bag with her that has just a logo on it. And I am gonna put this treehouse on the bag because it fits perfectly. And then that will be so cute. And for the jacket, I've decided I'm gonna kind of do, we're like in the trees right now, and it kind of feels like the jacket wanted to be kind of a camouflage-esque, like in the tree feel. So I'm doing all these cute decorative stitches along the hem and the cuffs, and then I think we're gonna do some type of like camo, like blob situation. They kind of remind me of tree tops, and I love the corduroy and the contrast with the denim. So I think this will look really cool. So I'm gonna put some on this pocket and sew it back on too. And I kind of love it. And so I'm gonna put all of these on, and we're gonna make kind of like a camouflage looking jacket. Stay tuned.
Okay, so I have my mitten fronts and backs sewn together, which feels very cute and appropriate in this cozy little treehouse. And like I said, because I'm going to use the cuff off the sleeve of this sweater, I'm going to sew the front and backs of my mitten together first, and then attach the cuff afterwards.
I thought it might be fun to give you guys a glimpse of our sewing setup. We are sewing side by side on the counter here. Alyssa's helping me pin some of these shapes onto the jacket and helping me with some placements. And I can't tell you enough how fun it is to do this with someone else. This is the first episode that I've had where I brought someone along to sew with me, and Alyssa was the perfect person. You guys probably recognize her name from the Pacific Pant pattern. She is a good friend of mine and someone that I work with often. So thanks for coming, Alyssa. While I was finishing up sewing on my shapes, Alyssa was finishing up one of her mittens. She has the cuff attached to the mitten part now, and she was turning it right side out to see if it fits, and it looks so stinking cute. I love it. Okay, 122. I finished sewing all of the patches on. So let's see how she looks.
So cute!
And the little, like, you see the little embroidery? Kind of, not really. So cute! Yay! Okay, now I'm gonna sew this little treehouse onto this little bag.
Here are the mittens.
So cute. We're gonna do a photo shoot outside too in the... So cute. Cute!
They're very cozy.
I love them. Yay! Alright, let's look at the disaster we have made. Oh, it's bad.
Chaos. Chaos cabin.
Yeah, welcome to the chaos cabin. We're gonna go get lunch and then we'll keep working. For lunch, we decided to go to the Salish Lodge and Spa, where they have a restaurant at Snoqualmie Falls. Snoqualmie Falls is absolutely breathtaking. You can literally park your car and walk right up to this and see it. The lodge is it's hidden behind that mist there, but the lodge is literally built like on top of the waterfall. And for any of my fellow Twin Peaks nerds, this was the waterfall that's featured in the opening credits of the TV show, and the Salish Lodge and Spa, which overlooks the falls, was actually the exterior for the Great Northern Hotel. So this is a really fun place to visit. The food is delicious. The restaurant was so lovely. The view is absolutely breathtaking. They had biscuits where they drip honey from like high up onto the biscuits. Apparently in the 1950s, they used to bring out a 12-foot ladder to do this, but then they stopped, I don't know, for safety concerns or something. But either way, this was so fun. The honey was so delicious. It comes from on site. I got the grilled cheese and tomato soup, and Alyssa got the chicken sandwich. Both were fantastic, and some beer, of course. After lunch, we headed back to the cabin. I was determined to finish this little treehouse sewing bag that I'm gonna make Alyssa use forever. So I had to unpick the side seams of the bag so I could lay it out flat to applique the treehouse on. And then I just had to sew up the side of the bag, and it was done. It was too dark to show you all the grand reveal tonight, although you can kind of see it on the ground there. But instead of taking photos, we ended up cleaning up the cabin and going back to the lodge to enjoy some hot tea and knit by the fire. Our final day at the treehouse, and we wanted to take it slow. We had coffee and knit for a really long while listening to an audiobook. At 8:30, we wandered down to the lodge to grab some breakfast and some more coffee before we did our photo shoot. And we grabbed all the things that we made and our rain jackets because it's pouring. And we headed out to get some photos and the final reveal. Stay tuned, we'll also reveal how much we knitted the past 2 days as well. It was pouring rain, but we had to show you what we made. Alyssa made the cutest mittens with our new mitten pattern that's going to be coming out on December 1st. They make amazing Christmas gifts. Alyssa made these out of a semi-felted wool sweater, and they're absolutely adorable. That pattern will be available at larayhandmade.com when it's ready December 1st. And then here are my final 2 projects. I did this knitting bag with the Trillium treehouse, as well as this upcycled Zara jacket that has cute stitching on the cuffs, the hem, and the collar, and some corduroy cutout pieces that give me a really cool feel of like camouflage and treetops. I'm glad I didn't put the treehouse on the jacket because I actually love how this turned out, and I think I'm going to be wearing it quite a bit. What do you guys think? How do you like our projects? Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to show you our knitting projects. This is how far we got in the 2.5 days that we were there. And for sweaters, this was quite a bit of progress. This was the most magical stay ever. TreeHouse Point in Issaquah, Washington. Thank you so much for having us. We had such an amazing time and cannot wait to come back and stay again. If you enjoyed this episode, follow me for more Socations at Larray Handmade.